Hello travelers, Boardman21 here, and today we got another daily dose of news during Hype Week leading up to the patch September 7th for 0.9.2. And with this one, we're going to have our visual updates, we're going to go over some new items, and then of course we're going to have some quality of life things. So let's go ahead and discuss through this forum post just what we're getting in this next patch. Welcome travelers to the third pre-patch blog post for patch 9.2, the Ruins of Power. Today we'll be taking a look at some of the new unique items, visual improvements, quality of life features coming in patch 0.9.2, and this post is going to be quite a visual feast, so make sure you have your eyeballs ready for the images below. So the campaign levels visual updates. With the recent complete overhaul of Chapter 1, we wanted to go back through some of the mid-game areas and apply our new tech and design principles. All zones in Chapter 6, most zones in Chapter 4, and several other hand-picked zones have significant visual upgrades made to them. Now let's take a look at some of these, because the first thing that I noticed, there's so much more detail in these areas than some of the areas that we've had in the past. Like, they look so much better, and I can't wait to run through them. Like, I really like the way they look, and then obviously we know that they're going to be a bit more optimized and just smoother areas to run through. Many of these areas have had completely new assets created for them, such as siege weaponry for Osprix war camps and new soul storage devices for the Immortal Empire. Many of these items not only improve the visuals of the area, but also work to create additional immersion, as each of these custom crafted items also have purpose and intent. Here you can see some of the soul storage devices. Dude, they look sick. So much better than what we have now. I like them. These changes help us to bring Edera as a whole up to our latest standards in preparation for 1.0. Our goal with many of these changes is not to just beautify these areas, but also to help bolster the unique distinctions between different eras and zones. Time travel is a core part of last Epoch, and so it's even more important to have distinct visual traits and variety to help reinforce that difference between the eras. These visual updates make many of these areas feel like entirely new maps to play through. And this is great because I really like all these reworks they do during the early chapters or even through any part of the campaign. Seeing as we'll be leveling a Rune Master and starting from scratch, we'll get to enjoy them right off the bat when this patch drops. And then here's a couple more. I mean, dude, the lighting, the detail to the environment, it's just so much better than a lot of what we have. I really like these new areas. Enemy updates. Alongside zones, a number of enemies are getting visual updates as well in 0.92. For those that keep close track of the teasers on the weekly dev streams, they teased this duo's art a while back, and there'll be two of the new enemy models arriving in Ruins of Power. You got the Soul Cage, which looks so much better than the, I call him a turtle, the old model that we had. And we have the Soul Warden. Definitely looks much better than what we've had in the past. Quality of life updates. They have in-game bug reporting that they'll be adding in this patch. One of the most frequently requested quality of life features is a way to be able to quickly and easily report bugs and provide feedback in-game, and as of this patch, that ability will be added to the game. On the character select screen as well as in the main menu, you can find a new report a bug button, and according to this UI, you can attach player data, you can add screenshots, you can add in the details, and of course you can rate it on severity, so that's pretty cool. Town functionality, which seems to be live right now. So earlier this week, they enabled town functionality live on all servers, allowing players to interact with other travelers throughout the Edirne towns. And I noticed this when I've been playing the last few days, is I've been seeing a lot of other players. To make the interaction in towns a bit smoother, in patch 9.2, they're also adding the ability to right-click on players to be able to interact with them. So make it easier and quicker to be able to find parties and do any sort of social event that you want. Got some new items. With beta patch 0.9.2, Ruins of Power is going to be adding 21 new uniques to Edera. That's right, 21 new uniques. With a new master coming in, many of these uniques will be aimed to support the Rune Master. However, we haven't completely forgotten about other characters for this patch. Here's a look at a few of the new items. And here we've got 3 of them. We have the Cleaver Solution. One of its main things is your intelligence is equal to your strength. Gonna find some good uses for that. It also gives +1 to all skills, which is pretty cool. We have the Abacus Rod, which gives a bunch of spell damage, as well as plus levels to Rune Bolt. Obviously, this one's for the Rune Master, and since I haven't played the Rune Master, I don't know exactly how well it's going to interact or what builds to base around it yet, but I'm definitely going to be looking forward to a lot of these new uniques to see what we can do with them. And then the Crest of Unity is an Elemental Nova unique, which gives +4 levels to it, gives increased area, and then makes it always tri-elemental. So just off the top, it'll be very curious to see how we can play with that if we find it. this next week coming up. And then more to come when continuing visual enhancements across all of Last Epoch, as well as improving quality of life features. We're making our way ever closer to 1.0, while still making sure to continue to add new ways to build and theorycraft in Last Epoch with an ever-expanding roster of unique items. Thanks for joining for today's patch. Tomorrow, they're going to be talking about runa prisons, experimental items, and experimental crafting. I'm kind of excited to find out exactly how those work and what all they entail, so we'll check that out tomorrow. As always, stay safe, and let me know in the comments below which new area you think looks best.